that pronoun right.
Drunk 3PO. Is that pink-haired girl single? Because I'm loving that biscuit. Wow. Another threat.
That's the rape threat. Jeremy, please.
This is going, guess where? Straight to the quartering. Wow.
And don't shout out that drunk 3PO's channel. He's a piece of shit.
Oh,
right.
is he another toxic one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You're listening to the Welcome to the Rebellion podcast. Hey, Jay, are you ready? Because it's time to start the show.
What is going on, everybody? I'm already laughing. Have an amazing guest on today. Before I bring him on, again, as always, I want to thank Nine Line Apparel. I got a new shirt, and the hats are coming back in stock in a few weeks over at Nine Line. But if you want to pick up anything at the store, please use the code DRUNK3PO and get 20% off your entire order. Also, geeksandgamers.com. Head over to geeksandgamers.com to find some amazing content channels, news articles, pop culture, video game reviews. Everything is over there. Go check it out. If you want to watch this live recording that we're doing now, you can catch it over at the Drunk 3PO YouTube channel. And as always, these always get flipped over to my members. So thank you to all my channel members. So now that that's all done, would you please welcome Az from Heel versus Babyface. How are you, sir?
I said to Jay, he said, do you want me to do anything for this stream for you? And I said, yeah, could you just wear a piece of merch which symbolizes my channel? And he said, sure. So he bought a Nerdrotic hat.
I wear different hats for different shows. They just happen
unbelievable, man.
They just happen to be on the I mean, I almost wore the I was close to Krispy Kreme because that was closest to me. And then there was Ryan, but I wasn't gonna, I think that's too much. So I usually, I just grabbed Gary's. It was right next to me. So you don't have a snapback hat on your merch, do you? You do have a snapback hat?
Yeah. I got loads.
Then I will guarantee
I got
right
some
now.
From Truckers. Truckers send me hats.
I'm gonna get a snapback Heel versus Babyface hat. That's a promise. I'm gonna do it right after the show.
I don't know if I've got any.
People like to like not impressed. It's like I don't care. What does that do for me? I don't care. Yeah. But anyway, Az just woke up, and I'm so glad that he's here with us, drinking his morning coffee. A lot of people in here. Thank you so much for being here with us. We'll get to the super chats very soon. And but how are you doing overall? Everything is well. Everything is good. Happy?
Yeah, very. Life's good. Life's good, and when life's good, you gotta embrace it. You gotta appreciate it while it lasts. So yeah, life's good, and I'm a very happy man right now.
I just have to say happy Valentine's Day.
I'd say it back at you, but I'm a little bit worried right now. You're taller than me, so I don't know how much fight I'd have in me.
Am I taller than you? 6'4"?
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
Okay. All right. It would be a good show though, that's for sure. Maybe. Sorry, I can't.
For Jeffrey Epstein and friends, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I'm gonna be laughing the whole time. Just want y'all to know that. I don't know why. I've been in a great mood all week. So this is just like icing on my Valentine's cake to have Az here. But before the show started, we were talking a little bit about YouTube, and you're coming up on a 10-year anniversary.
Yes, April the 13th.
10 years on
10
YouTube.
years on YouTube. Yeah. Crazy.
Do you remember your first upload?
Yes.
What was it?
Vividly. Absolutely vividly. I remember the whole last few days, the few days leading up to it. I remember getting myself some free, I think it's called Fraps. some free capture software, and then I did a couple of tests because I created the channel on the 10th of April 2012 was the day I actually created the channel. 13th was the day I released my first video. And yeah, I did a couple of tests and it worked. And I was just like, oh, wow, okay. So I did this absolutely terrible video, which is still up there for people to laugh at.
Mine's too.
Where, because the video channel was going to be about World of Warcraft and video game, well, World of Warcraft specifically. And they just opened up the beta access for Mr. Pandaria, and there was only one zone available for us to go in. And they had a flight path. There's like flight paths which you can fly to, but the top half of the zone you couldn't get access to. They blocked it off. So I did this half a flyover of the zone, and there's me trying to talk about how nice the zone looked. And it was a mitigated garbage. And after I did it, I thought I was the best thing in YouTube.
You ever go back and like just randomly pick one and go, wow, what was I thinking on this day? Like, what?
No, I never regret anything I did. I've done some terrible things. I never regret, because everything at the start is a learning curve. I thought YouTube was going to be, YouTube was going to be easy. I thought, because I didn't understand how the process actually works with algorithms and such. So I just thought you made a video, you put a video up, thousands of people just organically managed to watch your video overnight. And a new star is born and all of that. And I put my first video up, and I came back the next day and I had 36 views on it. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is going to be a little bit tougher than I thought it would.
So you're thinking 10,000, 20,000 people?
Oh, 30,000.
30,000.
35,000 people. That video is going to be on the 35,000 views, because that's just how YouTube works. I had no idea.
How did like like back then you didn't need, like you could start making money off YouTube instantly back then, right?
You have to hit a certain amount of money to get paid out.
Right, but I mean, like now it's like you need 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours to even be considered into the monetization program.
Yeah, there was none of that.
So it was just upload and go at that.
So if I had done a video with 30,000 views, I would have immediately got paid out.
And then a star was born, man. Star was born.
No, a star failed immediately. A star fell. And then I realized, okay, thank God I have some life savings put aside, because this is going to be a lot more difficult than I imagine. And my life savings are going to have to keep me going until I either sort this out or go back to working in an office.
But but when you started YouTube, it was like, this is what I want to do. So I'm going in. I'm jumping in the deep end, cannonball, right? Like this was it. This was it. I found something that I enjoy, something I want to upload, and I'm off to the races.
Yeah, and I've always been a gobshite. I've always been a gobby person, a loud person, obnoxious person, too many. I always kind of wanted to make, not when I say make people laugh, I don't mean in a comedic sense. Like I want to be a comedian on stage. I just always kind of enjoyed just making people laugh, just chuckle. And I distinctly remember a time when I was at school. I had this teacher, very strict teacher, and I hadn't done my homework one day. And I had to explain to her that I hadn't. Now I was just like, I'm sorry, miss, I haven't done my homework. And I thought I was just going to get absolutely shouted out. And she just turned to me and she went, government name, which we'll refer to as Az from here on in. And she went, your charm won't get you everywhere in life. And I took that as, oh, great, I'm charming. Awesome. I'm gonna use my charm to get whatever I want. And so from there on in, it was I would just try and just kind of want to entertain people, or just want to make people kind of smile or chuckle or laugh, or get some sort of reaction. and I just but life is life, and life doesn't go the way you want, and
No,
I
not
ended
all
up
the
just
time.
doing what a lot of people do, which is working all over the place, barman, theme parks, offices, food factories, just doing anything to earn money and survive. And I got to a point in life where I was working a job. I was doing okay. I was making okay money. But I hated the type of job. I hated doing sales and advertising and marketing, and I just hated the process. I liked doing the meetings and all that kind of stuff where you're trying to talk people into getting the product or whatever, but I just hated the process. And so I said, because I was an avid gamer, and I'd watch YouTube, I'd watch Total Biscuit on YouTube, and I just really enjoyed his very matter-of-fact commentary. I just said to myself one day, I said, I'm sort of getting on now. So if I've got two choices, I can either just accept my lot in life and continue to work in an office for the man. And as I had seen, because I was working for a small company and I was doing very well there. And every time I did well, they reduced my bonuses and reduced and upped my margins and stuff like that. Because, I was hitting the targets that they wanted me to hit. So suddenly it was just like, well, we're going to reduce this bonus, but you got to do more to get it now. And so all that kind of got very frustrating. So I said, I can either continue to do this and it's going to get to a point where I'm going to hit a ceiling and I'm going to coast. That's going to be my life until the day that I die. Or I can try and do something that I want to do. And I really liked the idea of YouTube. And I really liked the idea of content creation being your own boss, being beholden to yourself, your own work ethics. And so I had like I said, I put some money aside. I had some life savings. I put some money aside and decided that out of the blue, I was going to quit my job. And then I was going to have a crack at this YouTube business with no real plan in place at all, other than I'm going to make it.
I mean, sometimes that's the best plan. It's interesting to me when I speak to a lot of people that are doing something that they enjoy. There was just a moment in their life where they just were like, it's either I'm going to be this that I don't want to do, or I'm going to see what happens this way. It's like there's always like this fork in the road moment where it's like, now's the time to either go this way or I'm going to go this way. And I'm not going to go back. Everything that I have, I'm going to put, forward. But one of the most amazing things about YouTube is the ability to stay relevant over that long period of time. Because we've seen people on YouTube that have, they skyrocket up and then they just kind of fade out into existence. There's YouTubers now that have like millions of subscribers, yet they put out a video and like 5,000 people watch their videos now. And the fact that you have been able to just keep the bar graph moving in the right way is a testimony of who you are as a person, and like, the drive that you have, and also that you your content has changed over the years. It's like you just didn't stay here or go here or just say, no, this is what I'm doing and I'm not doing anything else. You've had some, changes where you're just like, and how was that? Like, was that nerve-wracking to finally say, I'm going to talk about this now? I know, however, 60,000 people subscribed because I was doing this. Yeah. But now I want to do this. How does that, for any YouTuber watching, how was that change? Because I know for a lot of people, it's scary. It's kind of like, if I step into another pond, are all these people going to jump over with me, or are they just going to leave me? And it's just one of those things,
Well, the thing when I started my YouTube channel was, although I wanted to make it on YouTube, my idea of making it was a lot different, I think, than a lot of other people. I think a lot of other people come onto YouTube and they're just like, I'm going to be the next PewDiePie. I'm going to be the next this. I'm going to be the next that. My idea when I joined YouTube was I'm going to make a living off this. That's what my intention was. I didn't want to be the biggest YouTuber. I didn't want to be the most successful YouTuber. I thought those sort of ideas are ridiculous to have. I just wanted to make YouTube give me a living. And if YouTube
pay your bills.
If YouTube could earn me a living, if I could pay my rent, pay my bills, you know, put food on my table. And I used to have this saying when I was the first few years that I did YouTube, whenever I was streaming, I always said to people, as long as I can pay my rent, pay my bills, put food on my table, I will continue to do this, because I loved doing what I was doing. And so I didn't at that time, you know, desire anything more. I wanted that that feeling, because I wanted to have that feeling that when I went to bed on a Sunday night, I didn't dread the Monday morning, which is the feeling that I'd had pretty much the whole of my life. It was just like, fuck. When I was a kid, it was Sunday night. I've got to wake up and go to school tomorrow. When I was working, God, it's Sunday night. I got to wait. You know, I've got to be up at 7, and then I've got to be in the office at 8. And it was always that awful kind of feeling of dread. And it's just like, why do I feel this way? You know, why should I feel this way? This is not a healthy way to feel about your work. So I wanted a job. I wanted to do something that when I went to bed on a Sunday night, I was going to bed on a Sunday night. And when I wake up on a Monday morning, I would be like, okay, what we're going to do today? What we're going to discuss today? What we're going to make a video about today? And so when I started off, I was very specifically World of Warcraft, because that's what I was playing. It just so happened that that's when World of Warcraft kind of started its downturn. And so I thought I was going to be doing this channel where everything was going to be great. And I'd be like, oh, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. And you started to creep in certain elements going, well, this is actually not so wonderful. And this is not so good. And so I got a bit of a rep as being the WoW naysayer. And it's quite funny because a lot of the stuff which I was saying years ago in World of Warcraft, a lot of the content creators started saying recently, particularly with all the stuff going on with WoW. So I now class myself as ahead of the curve. I could see this coming a mile away. But when I think it was like 5 years in, approximately 5 years in, 4.5 years into YouTube, I didn't want to do WoW anymore. I realized that I was dialing in the videos, and I didn't want to dial in the videos because I didn't want this to turn into what other jobs had turned into. I wanted to enjoy what I wanted to do. And so I said to so I literally just created a video saying, I'm not going to be doing any WoW content from here on in. I've had enough. I can't do this anymore.
Oh, so you just told your audience, hey,
yeah,
everybody.
I did it. Yeah. Not the wisest thing to, well, when I say not the wisest thing to do, I should, in hindsight,
you didn't weed them off, you know?
Well, I should have, well, I mean, I learned, there's more I learned from this. I said, starting from Monday, I'm just going to be doing generalized gaming videos. And there was actually a lot of positivity around that in the video. A lot of people were going, oh, you go for it, you go for it, whatnot. So I knew that the views were going to go down initially. But I was hoping that I could get an audience that would kind of follow me through. And in hindsight, yeah, I should have gradually just said, look, I'm going to introduce to the channel, apart from the WoW stuff, I'm going to introduce some other things. And so I started doing this generalized video game content, reviewing videos, doing a couple of silly things here or there, nothing lofty at all, nothing different. And the viewership kind of dropped off a lot more than I imagined. So,
wow, it did drop.
Yeah. I got into my own head, and I got up my own arse a bit, and I said, okay, if this isn't what you guys want, then I'm going to create a completely different channel. I'm going to put it on there. And so I actually created a completely different channel, put the gaming stuff onto there, didn't do anything on heel versus babyface. And that was my kind of like, fuck you, which was so stupid and whatever, but there you go. And then I would stream from the other channel and whatnot. Well, because I had my Twitch account anyway, so I'd still stream from there, but I'd rebranded. And it got to the point where I had some amazing supporters, but I was barely paying my rent now, and I was barely paying my bills, and I was barely putting food on the table. And the few trinkets which I had managed to acquire over the course of those 4 or 5 years, I had to kind of sell off. I ended up having to sell them off and raise revenue to keep me going. And I think it got to October of 2017, and I for the first time said to myself, okay, we're setting ourselves a time limit. If things haven't turned around by January of 2018, then we're gonna shut it all down. And I'm just gonna say, hey, I did 5.5 years on YouTube. That's a lot more than a lot more than a lot of people have ever done. Great ride. But let's go back to, we're going to have to go back to the man and earn and just, do what we did before. And then the very next month, November, Blizzard announced at BlizzCon that they are going to start work on World of Warcraft Classic, something that the fans had been asking for ages. And I have good friends, real life friends around me that keep me grounded. We keep each other grounded. Nobody gets lofty. And one of my friends called me and said, hey, look, this is the perfect time for you now. You got to go back on your old channel and you got to do a video about this. And I was like, dude, those days are gone. Nobody's interested in from heel versus Babyface. Nobody's interested.
How long before uploads are we talking here?
Oh, there's probably been 6 months since an upload.
Wow. So your channel was just there for 6 months.
I nearly closed the whole thing down. I nearly shut down the channel.
Wow.
And I think the video, like one of the last videos I had done was I did this really, in hindsight, nasty April Fool's joke video where I put, I'm returning to the World of Warcraft. And I just, and people click on the video and I just sat there eating a banana, reading a comic. And I thought I was being so funny and edgy. And I thought to myself, I just really never took into consideration people's legit feelings, because a lot of people, you just don't understand because you're behind you're in front of a monitor.
Yeah.
So you don't have that back and forth apart from what you read in the comment sections or what you're in. And, sometimes why bother going into comment sections? And so some, people who legitimately thought coming back were like really annoyed by this video because they did feel as if they'd been shat on, and I had shat on them. So anyway, there'd been about 6 months gap between videos, and my friend, like I said, I'm having this conversation with my friend, and I said to him, no one from heel versus Babyface wants to hear from me. I've kind of burnt that bridge a little bit, and my mate,
I think it was a pride issue a little bit.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Because my friend just went, "You're a fucking idiot." That's the text I got back.
I love friends like that.
Yeah. That was all I got back was, "You're a fucking idiot." And I, what? And he was just like, you got these fans there and they're desperate to hear from you. You have no idea how it would make, how happy it would make them and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, he said, you're just too full of pride. You're just too full of, you just can't swallow your pride to go back and eat some fucking humble pie. And I'm I'll take my licks when I know that I'm deserving of them. And so I said, I'll sleep on it. I think this was a Saturday night. I think, I could be wrong, but I said, I'll sleep on it. So the next day I get up and I'm just like, okay, let's do a video on this WoW Classic stuff. Because I think I was streaming at the time. when the announcement came, I was streaming at the time, and what somebody said, "Hey, Az, did you just see that Blizzard announced World of Warcraft Classic?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, you know." So the next day, I sit down at my desk and I'm like, "Okay, I'll do a video. If 4,000 people watch the video over 24 hours, I'll consider that a success." That you know, I think I'm gonna get absolutely annihilated in the comment section. Fuck off, Az. Blah blah blah. Da da da. But
You were ready.
I just thought, I listened to the words of my mate, and I was just like, put it this way: if he's right, and if I'm, if he's wrong, at least I can say, dude, I tried.
Yeah.
So I make this video, and I try and start it off in a when I say a funny way, I just start it off normally, just like, "Hi everyone, it's Az here from Heel versus Babyface." So I quit. I left. Wow. Oh no, don't worry about that. I'm back. So so I just so that's
Just
how I
like
start. Yeah, just literally how I start the video. Don't try and do this sort of, borrow a neighbor's dog and you like hold the dog and go, "Oh, hi Jerry, how are we going to talk to the audience today? I don't know either."
Yeah.
"I stole all your money in a Ponzi scheme. Oh well." One of those videos that YouTubers do from time to time. So I started off like that, and I just talked about what I thought of World of Warcraft Classic, the announcement, and finish the video, upload the video, go away. I just like, I don't want to look.
You want to see?
I'm just gonna go away. Okay. So I leave it. I come back the next day. I'm just like, okay, let's see what it is, because I'm logged into a completely different account now, so everything sort of defaults to that. So I logged everything out, went back into the Hill versus Babyface account, and this video I've done is on like 36,000 views.
Wow.
Which at that time was like huge. I was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, like what the fuck? And the ratio is like 99.x% positive. And I'm just like, shit. So I just go into the comment section, and the comment section is just, "We love you. We miss you. We miss you. We love you. Please come back. We love you." And I was broken.
What a feeling.
Just going through this comment section, just broken, because I was like, I've been such a fucking idiot. I think everything's about me. I thought everything was about me, my channel. I was like, it's not. It's got nothing. It's nothing to do with me. It's about these people. These people make you who you are.
Yes.
Your audience make you who you are. Without them, you are nobody and nothing. And I had proof of that because I've been through it. So I did put a caveat at the end of that video. I was just like, if you want to hear what I have to say about the new expansion or any other stuff from WoW, let me know. So they were just like, yeah, do a video on the other expansion. So I did another video on something else. And again, it got a really good reaction. And so I did a few little bits of WoW stuff, but I knew that it wasn't going to be sustainable in as much as. So I decided to say, look, guys, we know where we are. I can only kind of like take so much of this, but would you mind if I just sort of intersperse this with some other bits of content? And they're like, no, okay, just give us a little bit of WoW and a little bit of other content.
As a taper off period was coming.
Yeah. So a year passed, and it went round to the next BlizzCon, and Blizzard decided to suck me off that year because they announced Diablo Immortal. And it was just like, oh my God. And so instead of me even saying, hey, can I do a video on this Diablo? People were like, Az, talk about Diablo Immortal now. Yeah. So I did these couple of videos about Diablo Immortal, and like a big Diablo streamer watched one of my videos on his stream, and they got like a few 100,000 views each, which was like huge. And then Bethesda released the beta for Fallout 76, which was an absolute joke.
So they just were handing you content.
I know. So I just said, so then I said to my audience, I said, would you mind if I did a video on this Fallout 76 business? I promise you it will just be one. I think I've done about 30, 40 or never mind. And they were just like, yeah, we want to hear. And that video did like 450,000 views.
Wow. Wow.
And well, it was just this is a whole storm in a teacup that was happening in the gaming industry with what was going on with Blizzard, what was going on with Bethesda. And I said, you know, would you mind if I continued on this sort of gaming front? And people were just like, go, because I had got 30, 40,000 extra subscribers during this period of time as well. And they were there because they wanted the new stuff, and the other audience that had returned back to watch me were open to seeing new things. And so I started doing like generalized gaming content for a good while, and my channel started to really become healthy, the healthiest it'd ever been at that time. And then people, because they knew I was a geek, I'd talk about all the geeky stuff that I'd like. And whatnot. They'd be like, "Hey, Az, what do you think about this Batwoman trailer? And can you do these back?"
The rest is history.
Yeah, it literally became people asking me to do things. And then because I was a big lover of Doctor Who, and I met with Gary because of the Doctor Who business, then suddenly the gaming news started to transition into pop culture news. And the last 2 years, because it's coming up 2 years next month since I met Gary, and the last 2 years have just been a crazy, wild ride. It's insane.
It's been fun to see it, to be honest with you. Quick question: have you ever been recognized? Like, you ever like go somewhere and someone's like, "Hey, man, I know from somewhere."
Once in my life.
Yeah. Well, if you ever come to America, just get ready, because it's gonna be like the Beatles all over again. I'm afraid that's what's gonna happen when you get here.
This to me though was just like the sweetest, and I don't mean this in a patronizing way, but it was just the sweetest thing, because I went to the cinema with a couple of friends to watch The Last Jedi. Yeah. So we didn't know what we were in store for.
YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I go to the cinema with a couple of friends of mine, and we're just waiting. We're just kind of like waiting to go in, and there's this guy in a wheelchair, and his mother or carer was like tucking him in, and she was like dropping something or other, and I'm just one of these people that talk to people, I just talk to people, and I was just like, "You're right, going to pick that up," or are you too busy throwing things out for your mum, and all that, to try and he sort of giggled, and then we just had like a little bit of banter between us, and then he just said, he said, "By the way," I said, "I was just walking off." I was like, "See you, enjoy your movie," and I just walking off, and he went, "Oh, by the way," he said, "I watch your channel, Az." And I was just like, "Oh!" I had no idea.
That's cool, right? That's kind of cool.
So I was just like, "Oh man," you just literally have this bit of organic banter with somebody, and then you have no idea, because I don't ever go out thinking, "Oh, I wonder if somebody's going to recognize me." No, God, no, fuck no. And so it was just a really nice sort of organic thing that happened, and I felt, "Oh."
That's awesome. I like most people stop me when I'm filming for Geeks and Gamers over at the theme parks, because I'm always there. It's like I'm always doing a lot of live streams over there and stuff, so it happens it happens quite often. So
you're in a specific place though.
Yeah.
Like if I was to go to like a Doctor Who convention or a Star Trek convention, there'll probably be a few people that know who I was there, because that'd be more of the sort of home of your content, so to speak.
Well, one time, this is my favorite fans meeting story. I went to visit my parents. They live in the middle of nowhere. Everyone drives a golf cart. I wanted to take them out to dinner. My dad still thinks it's 1982 that I can't afford to take him out to dinner, but we go to this seafood place and everyone's sitting around and I'm like, Dad, let me freaking pay for dinner. I'm grown, you know? And the waitress comes by, puts her arms around me. She's like, hey Jay, how's Gina doing? Like, you know, that's like what I get. And it's just like, they're like, oh, I love your channel, this and that and that. My dad's just like, what? So that little thing you do on the internet does, like, people know you? He's like, all right, you can pay for dinner. So I was like, that was kind of neat. I was like, in the middle of freaking nowhere. So that was like, what? Why the name heel versus babyface? That's like a wrestling term, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's
it means good guy and bad guy.
Right.
Heel's a bad guy, babyface is a good guy. I know I'm a contentious person. I know I'm a Marmite person. I like that. I like being a Marmite person. You either love me or you hate me. And,
so that's a reflection of your character, then.
Well, I just think I think it's a reflection of I'm not really, you know, sort of like an uncompromising person. You won't bullshit me. And I know that some of the stuff I'm going to say is going to piss you off, whether you like it or not. And I know that some of the stuff I'm going to say you're going to get behind. So I just thought it was quite an apt name because I kind of play the good guy. I play the bad guy. I can play up to situations on purpose. So I just thought it was kind of apt and fitting for what I did.
I do want to ask you, on a recent live stream, one of your early morning live streams, you made a statement that really, it kind of grabbed me personally a little bit. You were talking about people's favorite franchises and IPs and things like that, and we're in this weird period where they're all in the wrong hands, basically, pretty much. Like, they're all in the wrong hands right now. And you said, you were like, don't stop loving these things and don't stop speaking out. For someone like me, that's a pill that's hard, at least for someone like me, because of Star Wars. You know, you love something so much. And as you know, it's always been a part of my life ever since I, little. And it's like, you've spent, I don't know, we could all say how much thousands of dollars we've spent on merchandise and shirts and toys. And yeah, I mean, we can go on and on. And then it's like, you get to this point where I had to just throw it in the trash. Not my stuff, but like what's going on right now. It's like, I don't want to watch it. I don't care to watch it. I don't really care to know about it. I laugh at it with other people, and that's as far as I can go with it, at least personally. I have to go to Galaxy's Edge for my job, and it is cool to see the Millennium Falcon out there. That's about it. That's over there because it brings back a lot. It brings back a lot of memories with me and my dad and all the stuff like that. And so, when you make a statement like that, do you really believe, you really believe, like, if we keep speaking out and keep loving franchises, that change can eventually
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
These franchises. Okay, I know where you're coming from. This is where I come from.
Yeah.
These people who are currently destroying these franchises. They're putting their own ideologies into them, their own politics into them, their own neuroses into them, everything.
Yeah.
But you have to say to yourself, these aren't the people that created this franchise. These aren't the people that made this franchise be beloved. That was done by George Lucas, Tolkien, whoever it may be. And we fell in love with it because of their ideals and their ideology and how they wanted to see the future, except Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek, etc. See it as a rental system now. This is currently in the wrong hands. The more we speak out, the more noise we make, the more that people shout at us and criticize us and call us all the names under the sun, the more those words lose their power and meaning because they don't mean anything anymore. Everyone's a Nazi in this world now.
Yeah.
Do you actually know what a my brother, who's a very sensible guy, he's a very responsible guy. He's you know, and even now he's beginning to text me, go, do people actually understand what words mean? He was talking about the recent fury somebody put in his newspaper. They're fury over Joe Rogan or fury over this, and he's like, do people actually know what fury means? Because these are now meaningless words. So everyone's a Nazi. Do you actually know what a Nazi is? Do you know what the ideology behind it? You know, so to call somebody a Nazi makes you look like a fool. Makes you look like a fool because all you're saying is, I cannot debate this person. I cannot come up with a reason, a good, valid reason of debate or argument to disprove what they're saying or to invalidate what they're saying. So I'm just going to call them a big poopy pants.
Right.
Because that's in essence what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So when we had, for instance, yesterday with the Tolkien trailer, I saw this trailer weeks ago. I was sent this trailer weeks ago. Because, you know, people like myself and Gary and other people, there is a lot of support behind the scenes, you know?
Absolutely.
These people, these good people, you know, when you look at cameramen or producers or writers or
they hate it just as much as we do.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
So these people said, like, here, look, this is, and so I got this trailer and it was like, this is what's coming. Okay. So I was like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So every time I said, you know, I'd seen the trailer and they said, what can you say about it? And because just sitting there, you know, obviously I'm not trying to compromise the source, but I'd say it's very diverse. You know, it's going to be very diverse. They're going to show you exactly what they want to show you, which is, hey, look at our spectrum or whatever. So the more that we speak out about this, and particularly with the Tolkien one, this had a pre-built-in you're a Nazi system. That was already determined. They were prepared. The Vanity Fair article mentioned it. The OneRing.net were all prepared, and they obviously did work with Amazon Prime to push the trailer. This was a already designated attack that they were going to go on for people that dared to criticize how this looked comparative to how Tolkien actually would have made it. And so when you already have these predetermined attacks, you're winning. You are winning because they know that they're not creating something that is respecting the source material. They know that they're making something which is ideologically based.
Yes.
And one thing that Gary and I discussed is when they showed the black female dwarf, and Gary's like, well, she doesn't even have a beard. Female dwarves have a beard. And I said, well, Gary, they can't put a beard on her because she's black. Because they know, because it's an ideological choice to change these race of dwarves to black, that if they put a beard on her, it's going to look silly because it's a female with a beard. And so they're like, well, we can't make a black woman one of our ideological decisions weird by putting a beard on her. So already your ideology is determining what happens in the actual fiction itself. And that's why ideology should not trump source material. This isn't a place, Middle-earth isn't a place that is meant to be reflective of current day. It's not meant to be a reflection of modern day. It's a reflection of medieval England in a time where we were what we class here in the UK as the Dark Ages, where all our stories were kind of gone because of the invasions that were happening and the destruction of all the stories and all the culture that sort of went alongside there. And so he fabricated this sort of period which he you know converted to Middle-earth and had all the elves and the dwarves and the whatsamajiggies. So it's not meant to be reflective. Now I watched the Criticals Drinkers video about it today, and he said something very what I think is correct, and it was just like, if you don't like that, tough, because that was not this is not your franchise. This is not how you this is not you that created it. Now, because it doesn't go alongside current day sensibilities, and to me, I say, what does that even mean? Because to me, current day sensibilities is a bunch of weirdos who claim they're progressive, who are actually using and abusing black people, gay people, trans people. They're using them for their own gain. They're not supporting these causes at all. They're shields and weapons to be utilized because it's so easy to hide behind these ideologies.
And that's why when it's the right month, they change their avatars. Everything.
Yeah. You know, Pride Month, Black History Month. Then it's March, and then it's changed to something else, and then it's Pride Month, and corporations like, oh, there's nothing that means more to us in this month than Pride, and we stick behind our LG. And it's like, do you fuck? You know, half of you are sending stuff off to China to be made by children in some of the worst conditions imaginable. In buildings where they have to bar up windows and put nets in stairwells to stop people from committing suicide. And you want to people who just have to do just a little bit of research, see through this. And once upon a time, the term woke used to mean somebody that can see right through the bullshit. That's what woke used to mean. If you were woke, it was actually a positive thing because you could see, you were red woke essentially meant red pilled. You could see it. You could see what the real world was like. Now, of course, it's been perverted because the SJWs tried to take the word woke for themselves, and because they're anything but. It's now been brought around, and now it's a term of detriment.
But do you think this is
not an endearment?
This is why our IPs have been hijacked, because there's no creativity. It's just pushing. You know, it's a checklist pushing. You know, ideology. So it's like instead of creating our own world where we can talk about whatever we want, wokeness or whatever SJW, we just have to let's just use something that's already been established.
Because Kurtzman's already said that.
Well, like you said, like a lot of people, I don't know what you call them, normies or whatever, they will see Lord of the Rings and just watch it because
I don't know. I don't think not with this new one. They'll watch the one from 20 years ago and they'll be like, oh, this is great. But then a normie will see what they saw yesterday and they'll be like, this looks weird.
Yeah, that was me.
Some of them would be like, why does this look weird? Well, it looks weird, dude, because ideology's been added to it. And so it doesn't look right because it's now been brought up into modern day. It's now got modern day sensibility. With Galadriel, for instance, in the original trilogy, you could tell how powerful she was just by the way that people responded to her.
Yes.
The sort of the way that people would act around her, the body language around her, even that little bit where Frodo sort of offers her the ring and she kind of goes into the dark. But she's like, no, I want to remain Galadriel the fair, the beautiful, etc. Because she knows how the ring would pervert her. It just needed those few little nuances for you to realize that Galadriel is a fucking badass. This trailer, she's holding a sword. She's in armor. She's fighting when she doesn't fight in any of the ages. And it's like they're overcompensating. We want to show you that Galadriel's a badass. So now she's like a general and she's got a sword and she's going to be fighting. It's just like, no, that doesn't show us she's a badass at all. That shows us that you can't write a proper woman. It shows that you can't write a strong woman because you believe that femininity is a weakness. And femininity is not a weakness. So you have masculated this woman because you want to show her a strength. The people who created the upcoming Horizon Zero Dawn sequel talked about how they masculated Aloy for this next sequel, for this first sequel, because they equate strength and masculinity together, but you can't have masculine males anymore because current day
I don't know
sensibilities
why.
don't allow masculine males because masculinity, they call it toxic. But there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. They're trying to call masculinity of males toxic because they don't want males to exhibit those strong, dominant traits.
You think
Because
that's
they're
why?
trying to push an ideology of strong women.
You think that's why in like the past 2 years they kept the gyms closed and not talking about health and nutrition,
That
more
is
like
weird. That is weird.
So it's so men can't go to the gym and get strong, like not just stay home. We'll take care of you.
Grow
It'll
fat.
be all right. It's like women too. Like women go to the gym as just as often as men do, but
but we're getting these fitness magazines with and it's not. I'm not trying to call the pot calling the kettle black here, but I'm just saying what we're seeing, which is fat women on the front of these health magazines going, oh, health
this
is
healthy.
Health at any size. And that is not true. This is a Western disease that's infiltrating. You look at movies from around the world, for instance. You go watch a Japanese movie. You go over to Japan right now and you go to the cinema and you watch the latest Japanese movie. Is that full of black people and white people and people from the Dominican Republic? No, it's full of Japanese people because it's based on the world in which they are in.
Yeah.
In Japan, the same with Korea, the same with other places. It's only the West that has this unhealthy sort of fixation with, oh, we must represent we have a diverse group of people in the West. Doesn't mean that this diverse group of people appear in everything.
Right.
And now that it does have to appear in everything, there's not an advert in the UK, I don't think, anymore that doesn't have a multicultural family and it's just so weird to look at now. Because UK is like 85% white. That's just how the UK is. That's not racism. That's just a statistic, I'm afraid. Not when I say I'm afraid, I'm apologizing for anything. This is just an Anglo-Saxon place, 85% white. But you watch all the media and you watch the adverts and you watch the TV shows and you'd think it was like 40% white, 30% white. It's crazy because they have to push this ideology. They have to.
The UK and America are just we're dealing with the same issues as far as like that woke agenda type thing. Is it like the same mindset in the UK?
There's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nobody's having a hissy fit when they see black people or Asian people or whatever.
Right.
But it's just it's in the places that they put them. For instance, like if I'm in central London, I expect to see a multicultural place.
Yeah.
I expect to see that because that is what London is. London is a big hotbed of multiculturalism. But if you go to north, not necessarily north, because in the north where I am, we have a very large Asian. By Asian, I don't mean Oriental Asian, X-ray girl. I mean Pakistani Indian. Have a hissy fit, Jane. You have a hissy fit, my love. So we have a large Asian and Pakistani community up here. But you go into the rich South and the villages around the rich South, and you won't find a black person or an Asian person for love nor money. These villages, they are white villages, etc. That's just how they are. That's just how how I don't know, the demographic has operated. And so there was recently a woman who either I think it was from Pakistani descent, who wanted to cancel Frank Miller, the writer Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was talking, and then when I did a little bit of digging into her, because Frank Miller's a legend in the comic world, with everything that he's created and written and whatnot. And I just had to do a little bit of research into her, and wherever she went, there was a problem. She spoke about, I went to this convention in this place, and she was talking like almost kind of like an English village. And she said, and there were people that stood and stared at me as I was in my, I don't think she was in a burqa, but whatever she was ordained in. And I'm thinking to myself, it is a natural reaction. If you've been living in an English village, let's say, and then somebody comes in and they're dressed in either in the burqa or they're dressed in some sort of reflective garb of wherever they come from, that some people are gonna, they're gonna look.
They're gonna stare.
Because it's something that's different. It's something that they're not necessarily used to seeing. Now, that look doesn't equate to racism. That quote doesn't equate to discrimination. If anything, it's inquisitiveness, because they're inquisitive as to what you're wearing. And of course, she immediately said it, changed it into this disgusting racist English village, and that the convention should have apologized to her, and all this nonsense.
But see, I agree. It's the first time I ever went to China, we had 2 black couples go with us. We were going to this one village, and
how much China loves black people.
The people do. Government, that's a whole nother story. But we went to this village, and our tour guide went to them and said, "Hey, many of these people have never seen a black person before. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable going? They're gonna stare a lot, and they're gonna want to ask you questions and talk to you and everything like that."
Sure.
And they were like, "Yeah, of course, let's go." And sure enough, we got off the bus. We go to this place. It started with the children, just staring, and touching their hand and holding their hand. And like you said, they were just so wow. And then they were bringing them around the village. Look at these. And it happens. When I used to bring teams into Haiti, when I used to live in Haiti, if you had blonde hair, it was very much almost, we went to some places where they were they've never seen blonde hair before. And it was wow. I was they're going to touch your blonde hair. Are you okay? You want to put it in a hat? Whatever. They're like, no, it's fine. And sure enough, it was the children, man. They just wanted to see it. They've never seen it before. And it just, like you said, and then these people just turn every little thing they can, into something. Just like this lady she was in the metaverse, right? And apparently she was groped in a video game she literally in her own home. If you don't know what that is, everyone, you put the VR goggles on and you go into another world, and she's walking around, and apparently somebody else was in that world and went up and touched her. And now she wants to sue when she could have just, taken the goggles. I don't know, but now. And so that's going to be interesting to see what happens on that, because if she were to win, then how many other people will say, "Hey, I was in your metaverse and somebody came up to me and tapped me on the behind." I feel, I'm outraged. I'm outraged that could happen. So
does her avatar have rights? How did that even happen? How does one virtually grope somebody?
I don't know.
If I do this to a girl, "Hey, girls in the chat," am I now virtually groping the girls? Am I now?
Okay, the lawsuits are coming.
Yeah, am I now eligible for lawsuits because of that?
So, but getting back to the original point, keep fighting. You believe things will change?
I do.
Yeah.
This is this Lord of the Rings is a very expensive show. The Rings of Power. It's a very expensive show indeed. And already the first trailer's got a very negative response. We know that the fans of these franchises are the first to speak out. But now that the normies are starting to notice, now that the normies are starting to wake up, you can see it even in the modern Marvel movies. Eternals flopped. Shang-Chi flopped. Black Widow flopped. These are movies which Marvel expected to walk away with hundreds of millions of dollars of profit from. Sorry, Jane. I apologize.
You go out.
I'll give you lunch next time before I disgracefully grope you. These flopped massively. I think Shang-Chi was the only one that pulled a profit, and that was about 30 million maximum.
Yeah, it was small.
It was tiny, and
small.
You know, whether or not that was actually a profit, who bloody knows. And then and that's because these shows, I mean, all of them were ideologically based in one way or another. The Black Widow was about intersectional feminism. Men were made ridiculous. The women were made to be flawless. And it made for a very boring, pathetic film. Shang-Chi, the hook on Shang-Chi was Asian people. Now, I don't want to burst Marvel's bubble, but I've seen a lot of Asian people in my time. I've watched a lot of Asian movies in my time as well. And so seeing a movie with an Asian cast doesn't do anything for me. I've seen it multiple times, many, many, many times, and invariably often better than that film by a long shot. And then Eternals, which was literally their attempt to say, aren't we so inclusive? And that film was laughably bad. Laughably bad. And so what happens? Something comes out that normies just want some entertainment and fun with. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is it the greatest film ever made? No, I think it's a solid 7.5 out of 10. You know, it's not gonna, to me, be the greatest film of all time. But it's got wonderful moments. It's got wonderful moments in it. It's got a lot of heart in it. And more importantly, it's not ideologically based. It doesn't have any crammed in ideology at all.
But you know why people want to see Toby and Andrew is because we have been starved for something to cheer for. We don't have any connection with any of these movies.
No, how could you cheer for any of that? How could you cheer for Black Widow? She didn't do anything. How could you cheer for Shang-Chi? His sister and his best friend, who I don't know how, just drag him around the world. He doesn't have any agency of himself. The Eternals. Oh my God. I hate you. I hate all of you. You're horrible people. How could you cheer for any of them? You can't. But you could cheer for, you remembered Toby.
Yeah.
In Spider-Man and how heroic he was. You can remember Andrew in Amazing Spider-Man. You know, Tom's a very charming actor. Tom Holland, very charming chap. So these are people that you could actually get behind. These are people who are fighting to save their worlds, fighting to save their loved ones. Very standard stuff, which is why we go to the cinema, for escapism.
Yes.
Not to be lectured to, not to see how Hollywood wants to sniff the farts and say, aren't we so progressive, aren't we so wonderful? No.
Yeah.
We just want escapism. We want to get out of the humdrum of real life for a couple of hours. We want to enjoy some people being heroic, that we can look at those people and be inspired to be better people, to act better, to be kinder. Just little things.
But as we're at this place now, we're now like actors and directors are coming out. I've never seen anything like it in my time, where they're, like you said, they're literally telling us, don't watch our stuff.
Good.
It ain't for you. You're the problem. I was blown away when the Santa Inc. stuff was coming out. I was like, all right, that's terrible. It's terrible. Like I didn't even watch an episode. I just saw the trailer. No. And you know what? We live in a country. If they want to make crap like that, fine. But we're still going to talk about how bad it is. For Seth Rogen to come out and say everyone who doesn't like it are white supremacists, you're just like, really? Like, this is where we are. If we don't like you can't take an L. Like you can't take a loss anymore. Like Hollywood, you have to blame it on whatever. And just say this is what we made. If somebody calls
you white supremacist now, take it as a badge of honor.
Yeah, but
if somebody calls you a Nazi now, if somebody from Hollywood, if some dumb fuck like Seth Rogen, some really stupid, probably a little bit retarded, druggy like Seth Rogen comes out and calls you a white supremacist or a Nazi, somebody that hasn't lived in the real world, somebody that thinks that getting your car broken into 16 times in LA is normal, if that person comes out and calls you something because you don't like his horrible anti-white, anti-Christmas, anti-Christian film, and I'm not a religious person, But if the roles were reversed and it was Christians and they were taking the piss out of Hanukkah, then there would be uproar.
Yeah.
There would be uproar of, oh, here we go, more anti-Semitic stuff, yada, 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 yada. So there seems to be some really fucked up mentality at the moment that everything's okay if to destroy, to persecute, as long as it's white and Christian right now. And it's just like, how do you even think that? Particularly when you are the ones who are claiming to have gone through multiple persecutions. But they're not. These are people who sit in their ivory towers. These are people who have been paid millions upon millions, who don't need to ever want for anything in life again. People who sit in their houses during the coup and say, I'm stuck in a prison.
Yeah, I know.
I'm stuck in a prison in my beautiful Bel Air mansion. You know, and then you see out the window and they've got this beautiful pool. They've got this huge garden.
Basketball
they've got this gorgeous front room. They've got their chef cooking for them, you know. And although I can't move, I've still got, my servants cleaning my house for me, looking after my kids, doing my shopping. These people have no idea what reality is. And so because they've been so used to having people blow smoke up their ass their whole lives, when it actually comes to legitimate criticism, because everyone can make a bad movie.
Sure.
You know, when a bad movie comes out, people don't stamp and stomp for 6 months going, rah! It's just like, nah, that movie's shit. But when somebody comes out with an ideological movie,
bad movie.
Yeah. Bad movies are fine. There's a ton of them. There always will be bad movies.
Yeah.
But when you want to preach, and you get clapped back for preaching, and particularly when what's coming out of your mouth is just hatred, and then you want to try and turn that around. Nah, there'll never be another series of Santa Inc. made again. So it doesn't matter how much Seth Rogen or Sarah Silverman. And I just want to preface this quickly. I don't know if I have ever seen a woman as fucking thick as Sarah Silverman in my life from what's come out of that woman's mouth during the course of every time I've heard her speak.
America to separate, and like she wants
she can't go to Easter Island. Fuck it, easy, go. Just go. Go. True. I mean, some people are into that sort of stuff, but it doesn't. I don't think division is ever going to mend bridges. It's going to do the complete opposite. What did we do after the war? We raised a wall in Germany. Was segregated. The Iron Curtain went down. These are things that people aspired over the decades to pull down. And people who call for them to these to be lifted back up again. That's regression to me, not progression. It's regression.
Well, see, that's why when you brought up The Last Jedi, I never saw a direct. Maybe this is social media's fault, but I never saw a director go after people. And I have all the little receipts people say as when people were criticizing his movie, he would send tweets of middle fingers to people and all that stuff like that. Man, baby, the whole thing. And then, so like, that was the start of the end of Star Wars for me. Then, of course, we get into the Mandalorian season 2. And the first person I noticed that was trying to build bridges back with fandom in Star Wars was Carl Weathers, of all people. And he would go on Twitter and he would take the criticism and be like, yeah, all right, we'll try to do better. Like, literally would say, we'll try to do better. Yeah, that was, and every time people called out a mistake on an episode he directed, he called it a boogie. He goes, oh yeah, that was a boogie there. Yeah, maybe we can fix it later. And to me, that was awesome. Gina Carano started doing the same thing. And someone else on there, I can't remember who it was, one of the other women, they were doing the same thing. They would go on Twitter and Facebook and interact with fans.
Wasn't it the Forge Master?
Yes. That's right. And they would interact with fans, positive and negative. They wouldn't call them names. They wouldn't say anything. They're like, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hey, we're doing the best we can. Basically, that's what they were doing. And there was a lot of interaction.
Henry Cavill's he's another good one. Henry Cavill's a geek. He's legitimately like us. He's just unfortunately gorgeous and buff, and got wonderful hair, which I cannot adhere to. I cannot attest to myself. But when he was baited by one of the interviewers that he went to see, and they called fans toxic, and he corrected them immediately.
His passion.
And he said,
Yeah.
they're not toxic, they're passionate. These are franchises that they've invested a lot of, time, money into, and they want to see it represented as best possible. So, and it's great to hear that, because that's coming from somebody who probably thinks the same way. That when you can clearly tell that Cavill is not happy with The Witcher and the way that Geralt is being portrayed in this Witcher TV show. And rightfully so. I'm not. I think that the show's pretty garbage apart from him. I think he's the only saving grace to it right now. But fans are passionate, and fans are always, regardless of, because you have a limited scope when it comes to, fans have decades of source material. And somebody who makes a TV show is trying to tell a specific story in a very limited amount of time. Same with a movie. We're going to tell the story of the death of Superman in a movie, but that's something that went over the course of 20, 30 comics, So fans are never going to be 100% happy with the way that you present source material in the limited formats that you can present the source material.
Yeah, but that's what makes stuff like this awesome. So if something came out, Spider-Man, me and you can go back and forth on what we loved and what we didn't love.
Yeah.
And that's what makes fandom great.
That's what fandom used to be about.
Yeah, but now it's just like, you don't agree with me, you're the problem. You're wrong.
I didn't like Spider-Man's suit in the third act. I did like Spider-Man's suit in the third act. You voted for Trump. What?
Exactly.
Exactly. What?
Let's cancel him now. All right. I found a 10-year-old tweet, because you didn't like Spider-Man's suit. I found this old tweet of yours. Let's get him canceled.
It's insanity. It's absolute insanity.
Oh my goodness.
But because things like that never mattered before. It didn't matter if you voted Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem, Monster Raving Loony Party, whether you were a Republican or a Democrat. None of that mattered, because it was never about the political aspect of it. It was always about the actual material, whether it be Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, The Witcher, Tolkien. That's what really matters. And that's why fandoms have always been incredibly inclusive. They've always brought people in from every walk of life, every color, both genders, social, economic backgrounds, rich and poor, doesn't matter. It's brought in all these people, and they would come to conventions and they would share their love of these materials together. Nowadays, it feels like they are very specifically wanting to cause division between these fans. Because if you cause division, then you can insert your own reasons for doing so. Oh, this fandom's now split because they don't like the black people in Tolkien. It's got nothing to do with that at all. It's about adhering to the source material. I spoke yesterday about fantasy can be whatever it wants. If you look at Tolkien, he created very specific fantasy with very specific laws. He created such a rich back story and everything so that he could craft these incredible stories. Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, let's just say for those movies, they are more fast and loose with their fantasy.
Yes.
So it could be, you have
so the interpretation can, right.
So you can interpret it exactly how you want. So the rules of one fantasy film don't have to be set in this in another fantasy film. That's what makes things different. So to see, like in, for instance, Conan the Barbarian, the movie, there are black people, there are white people, there are men, there are women fighting, there are Asian people, there's people from all kinds of different demographics that are in that movie, because that's that world. That's the way that world is represented. And nobody's kicking up a fuss because of it, because we know that this is how this world is. Tolkien was it's a very specific world. And that's why people are calling it out. And that's why we have this already inbuilt. So be vocal, because we can get these back. Star Trek is throwing everything that it can at the walls at the moment, and nobody's watching any of it. Nobody's watching any of it.
It's so painful.
Let
to
them
hear,
waste their money. Let them burn their money, because there will invariably come a time where they have to make a choice, and that choice will be: do we make money or do we go out of business?
Yeah.
And if they, if any of them, I mean, I would love them to go low. Let's push on with this ideology, because then you'll be down and out and gone.
Yeah.
And when you're down and out and gone, then somebody who does want to make money will be like, oh, look, I can pick up this franchise.
Yeah.
And I can make this franchise. I don't think any of us, let's just be honest. I don't think anyone, even in franchises that are treated really well, which are so few and far between nowadays, I don't think any of us are thinking that the decision makers at the top of these companies are going, I'm doing it because I really love this franchise. No, they're doing it because they know what makes their audience happy, and that makes them profitable. But they are smart enough to realize that if you give the audience what they want, they will purchase not necessarily just the streaming key to go watch it, but they will purchase the merchandise to go alongside of it. And we can make money from that as well, because that's such a profitable side. But we see merchandise rotting on shelves from popular franchises nowadays.
It's horrible to see.
Seemingly popular franchises.
I mean, it's just like it's horrible to see. Just to go in and see dust on Star Wars characters, and you're just kind of like, wow.
Well, it depends who they are. It depends who they are.
I mean, they're just trying to get rid of what they have, and it's just sequel trilogy stuff. Disney. I was at Disney on February 1st, and their whole shelves of Star Wars stuff was Lando Calrissian. It's the start of February.
The Black Lives Matter month. Yeah. That's right. Black History Month. Hey, look, he's a black guy.
It was just all Lando stuff, and I'm like, really, guys? Like, you're not even trying. You're not even trying at this point. It's just like, wow. Like,
it's just projection. It's just projection. It's just image. It's optics.
So
they're no champion. They are no champion of causes.
No, it's not anymore. It's like I don't want a hashtag about me right now. So I will I'll do what I can, and just keep the hashtag police away from me. For whatever reason, hashtags it's their currency.
It's their own fault. It's their own fault because you created these people. You allowed them to flourish. You pandered to them. You created them. Because you gave them breath, you gave them life, and you gave them validity. And you backed them and you supported them when the fans were like, this ain't right. You were like, no, we're gonna throw our support behind the people who are calling you ists and isms and phobes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And now you have to adhere to their rules, because if you don't, you're gonna fall prey to it. It's a laughable circle of shit.
It's definitely a clown world. Getting back to yourself in your 10-year moment, maybe you already shared it. Did you have like a really high moment where it was like you could almost sit, like in your YouTube career, you could just sit back and like, that was cool. Like, that was cool. I got to meet so-and-so, or I got to do this, or I got to do that. And it's like, that was really cool. Like, where you could kind of sit back and then take a day and enjoy it. Did you have, you might have had multiple moments. Was there one specific that just kind of stuck out?
Guys, it's weird. Because I when I first started, I set myself a goal. When I was like, I want to get on the front page of this website called MMOchampion.com. Because that was the biggest MMO website for World of Warcraft news. So I said to myself, I want to get on that. It's going to be my thing to do. And then I think it was within 8 weeks of starting my channel, I got a video on the front page.
Wow.
And I kind of thought to myself, oh, wow, okay, that happened.
Happened quick.
Yeah, so it's just like,
I made it. That
was going to be what I was aspiring to get to, and here I am. And then I think plenty of time has gone, but like about a year or so into my channel, they actually approached me and they said, "Hey, we want you to work for us. We want you to make videos for us." But you'd have to leave your channel and do it specifically for us. And I wasn't prepared to do that. So I didn't, but that was pretty cool.
It's cool to be asked.
It was amazing just to get a little message from Gina a couple of a year or so ago. The only contact,
what was it?
the only I just when she got fired, we were all, she'd followed me on Twitter. She doesn't anymore because I'm on a different account now. But she'd followed my Hill versus Babyface account, and
she knows you, buddy.
And then we all just sent her little messages of support when she got fired. Yeah. And I just got a little message back just saying, like, thank you for a little message and whatnot. And that was just kind of like a bit of a wow moment because, she's a cool girl. You can fuck right off. You can, because I've been following Gina when she was an MMA fighter, you fucking shithead. So I've been simping for Gina for like donkey's years. And then you fucking come along going, Star Wars, Gina Carano. And now you're all fucking buddy together. I'm just like, fuck you.
Well, for whatever it's worth, whatever happened when she was going through the cancel stuff, I don't know what happened. She found my video for whatever it's worth. And that's when she sent me a message. She goes, "Thank you for this video." And I was like, and then it just went from there.
But the moment, I've already mentioned the moment. The moment the wow moment for me was when I did that return video to the Hill versus Babyface channel. And I just expected nothing but abuse, and I got nothing but love. Had all those messages saying, "We miss you, come back," and all that. That to me is the defining moment of YouTube for me, because it was a very real moment. A very real moment for me, and just put a lot of things into perspective. For me, and I said, I'm never gonna make that mistake again. I'm never gonna get up my own ass again. I'm gonna remain as grounded as I possibly can, and I'm gonna listen.
So going back to that moment, would you consider that your lowest moment in YouTube, like, or during that time? Did you have like and you don't have to share, but I mean, it's like, I usually ask everyone that same question. Did you just have a low moment where you had to literally motivate yourself to?
I think 3 months into my YouTube life, I didn't put a video out for a week. So I was just like, this is going to be such a hard slog. So I took like a week off, didn't do anything. And then I came back. I was like, sorry, folks, I was on holiday for a week. Here we go. Because I just had to have a bit of a reality check with me saying, look, this is going to be really hard, and you're probably going to burn through all your savings to do it. Will you be able to support yourself once you've burnt through your savings? And, like I said, I had to sell off trinkets and whatnot then. But yeah, I think my lowest moment was when I was thinking to myself 4.5 years in, 5 years in, I was thinking to myself, do I delete the Heel versus Babyface channel? I was literally finger on button to delete that. And I thought it was over. I thought, this is definitely a low. Other than this show, my lowest point was. I mean that because that would have been wiping out 5 years of what I'd done. That would be given up, and to even be contemplating doing that showed that your mindset was in a really bad place, wrong place.
I learned.
But other than that, it's there's a lot more joy than disaster here. I gotta say,
I have learned in this internet world, because I still consider myself kind of new. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just enjoying it, and that there are moments where you just have to turn it off. At least for me, I just had to get and go out. People use the term touch grass. Like, I literally have to turn it off and go outside and take a walk, even if it's for a day or two, because learning how to understand, the first time you started getting like death threats and hate mail, it was like, wow, that's new. I never got that before. And
that's when you're getting somewhere.
Yeah, but at the time, I don't think about it like that. At the time, I'm like, I had some scary moments on a live stream when I was actually at one of the Disney parks. Someone posted my name and address in the live stream saying they're coming for me. Like, I know where you are. I'm coming for you. And like, here I am live in front of a few hundred people. And I just kind of put it was on a cell phone. I just put the live stream down, went on my phone. It was like, can someone come into the chat? And I need a mod in the chat to like nuke all this stuff, please. So, and I got to act like nothing, you got to act like nothing happened. But at the time, it mentally could affect you if you let it, so like there's moments where you have to like learn not to let it affect you in this YouTube. And doing it for 10 years, brother, that's quite an achievement. I've
always had relatively thick skin, and to me, a lot of times it's water off a duck's back. So
I think it's having thick skin. I get it. Like, I can get picked on and memed, whatever, stuff like that. After a while, though, I feel like when it came to stuff like that, it was really, it just was like an eye opener. Like,
Yeah, but you got to put it into perspective yourself. This
I do now. I didn't
because
I was saying, like, I do now.
He doesn't like my opinion of a stormtrooper. I was like, come on, dude, gotta get some perspective in life. And even before I did any of this pop culture stuff, a lot of people would refer to me as the guy who really doesn't give a shit what you say. So, in a good, not in a, a silly way, but in a good way, like somebody would go, hey, Az, you're a blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, okay. And a lot of people say, how does that not affect you? And it's like, unless that person is somebody who I respect and who has an effect on my life, then why should it hold any power? If Gary, for instance, went, hey, Az, you, then I'd be like, oh, okay, I got to talk to Gary about this and find out why he's like that.
Yeah. No,
but
I've always said that.
Somebody in the chat's like, I'd be like, okay.
I've always, I had to learn to create a beautiful circle of people around me. Number one, to keep me in check. Number two, to check on me when they see me online and they're like, man, you look a little off, Jay. Like, you good? Like,
isn't that every
you
day,
need a
though?
nap? You need something to eat? You need a cookie? You need something like, and those, like you said, those are the people that I really respect their opinion. Everybody else, people will come and go, misunderstand what you say, misquote you, miss whatever, do whatever they want, come in halfway through a live stream and totally miss the point of what you're trying to say and come after you. It's, and get your Twitter nuked in the process. Me and you are brothers in that, we both got our Twitter, our original Twitters totally.
Let's just say it's not something I cry about overnight.
Yeah, I mean, it was. At first, actually, they did me a favor. I was like, man, I got a lot more work done without, and so then just creating the Twitter again, just to kind of keep up with like news and stuff that's going on, because it does hit there. It seems like it does hit Twitter first, before it goes around. But what is do you have like a personal motivation? Like, what keeps you going every day? Like, is there something that keeps you motivated, or something you want to accomplish, or it's just like,
I love what I do.
Yeah.
I legitimately love what I do. I love making videos. I love live streaming. I love doing the podcasts with the boys and stuff. So I have a legitimate love of what I do. So it's not a difficult thing for me. It's a difficult thing for me to do the laundry and do the dishes, because I'm not highly motivated to do that particularly. But it's not difficult for me to to sit down and go, I'm going to fire up a live stream, or I'm going to do a video on this, or I'm going to talk about that. And I think a lot of it is because these are things that I truly love. This isn't, none of this is optics. None of this is just show off. It's not decoration. These aren't decorations. These are things which legitimately mean something to me. My gaming, I adore my gaming. My 1 in 6 collection, my Star Wars, my Batman, my Gina Carano's, my Gay Stormtrooper, my Azraels, my comics, my Legos, my DC, all of it, all of this legitimately means something to me. And that's why I have no problem speaking out about it. This is why I have no problem challenging DCs and Marvels and Disneys and whatever's when they speak about this. This is why I have no problem of people calling me misogynist and white supremacist and Nazi and all this, because I know that their words are falling onto rock. They have no meaning. They are literally just bouncing off a rock. I don't care. I am unmoved by these words that you say, and every time that you say it to me, I know that I am probably more right than you will ever be. So I don't have an issue when it comes to motivation, because I am constantly motivated, and it does help that I got great people around me. It does help when I got people like Gary, Critical Drinker, people, Mauler, people that I speak to on a regular basis, and who keep me motivated, because I watch their material and I see how good they are, and I don't think I'm ever going to be as good as they are by any stretch, but just seeing how good they are, and it just gives me more motivation and keeps my voice loud. And as long as the companies keep fucking up, I'll keep speaking up against it. And if they start deciding to make some good stuff, then we'll speak up about the good stuff. Like we do. Well, when Spider-Man came along, you couldn't shut us up about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And the more that we can get of that, the better. But yeah, I am always motivated, and whether or not it's to be my own stuff, or whether or not it's to go onto a different podcast, a different stream, I love doing my Naomi reviews with Jane Theory. Jane Theory's so fun.
Oh, she's great.
She's like a yin to my yang. We're like complete personality opposites. And so that's just like such a laugh to do with her. And then do my Batwoman reviews. I know that's like content I can create where I could go into the comment section and just be amused, because I know that the people who are in the comment section are just going to be lapping up the roasting of it, because that's all it is. To see the numbers grow on Friday Night Tights week on week is incredible.
Yeah.
To see the chat, to read the chat, to see the memes that come through from the chat are so funny. And the positive, when I say the positivity in the chat, it's like, when you think of a stream that has nearly 13,000 people watching for a significant period of time every week, and the chat just is having a gay old time, then it's not like you get the odd comment, sure, but it's just crazy to think of how big that is, but how positive the chat is, and how kind of much support there is from there. God, yeah. I mean, things like that they just lift you. They just lift you really high, and then you just make sure that you surround yourself with people that keep your feet on the ground. And that's Gary and I, whenever we speak, in more often than not, we end conversations with keep humble, keep your feet on the ground, and that's how we tend to end a lot of our conversations together. We always try and just make sure. We'll talk about how excited we were about this and how great this was and how wonderful that is. And we'll just talk about our normal kind of stuff that we talk about, which is our normal kind of like fandoms and stuff. But we'll end conversations with keep humble, keep grounded, and work hard. That's what we do. That's how we tend to do that, and keeps you honest.
So coming to the States anytime soon?
I got. I'm not sure because I've been putting. I've been legitimately putting something off for a long time.
Yeah,
I keep saying to people it's nothing to worry about, but I've been putting something off for a long time. I've got to have something operated on, and it's going to take me out of commission for a bit. So
you know how much you were missed at Vegas. I hope you felt that.
Well, when Jeremy phoned us up, or Gary phoned us up, and then they held the phone up and they went, "It's ours," and there was that. Jeremy said there was an absolute roar when it came. So that was pretty cool. Hey, keep them treat them mean, keep them keen.
I mean, yeah, like it's I think it would be, I'd love to meet you, man. I think it'd be awesome.
I'm definitely going to come over at some point.
You know, you'd probably just shake my hand and be done with me, but that's all right.
I'll big time you. I'll just big time you. You'd be like, "Hi, Az," and I'll be like, and I'll just move on to the next person. It was like
the last time I was on Friday Night Tykes was in Vegas. I literally sat down and all they did was show memes of me, and they were like, "All right." Then they were like,
you had a chance to be on Friday Night Tykes, and you decided to go and lie on a sofa and fall asleep instead.
All right, so that's not what happened.
That's what happened.
I was at the pool, and then Jeremy calls me, and he goes, "Hey, where are you?" And I was like, "I'm at the pool with Krista." And I was like, he goes, "Well, Gary said that you might be on tonight." I was like, "When did he tell me that?" And he goes, "He said he messaged you." And so then Gary grabs the phone. He goes, "Check your messages. I'll see you soon." And they hang up on me. So sure enough, I go and I check, and he mentioned it like 6 months ago. He did mention it though, so he wasn't lying. So I was like, "Oh shoot!" So sure enough, I got an Uber. I went over there, and then Gary gets up and he looks at me and goes, "We'll get you on in 1 minute, man." And I was like, "No problem." So I just laid down and I fell asleep on the couch. But they got me on anyway. I was just like,
do you remember what I said to you when you eventually got on that podcast?
Yeah, you were saying, "Why am I not
coasting? Keep coasting, dude. It'll work out for you. Just keep coasting."
I said my life was pretty good, though. My life is pretty good. I'm at
when
50,000
you said
now.
I haven't quite worked out this YouTube business, you weren't fucking lying, mate.
Oh man, come on! I'm not doing that bad. I'm working on like 3 channels, and this podcast is doing really well. Hey, I got like a weird offer from Odyssey. Did you know about that?
No.
So yeah, I know you don't keep up with things, but it's okay. Like
I didn't get that in my J News Daily email.
They
wonder what's going on with Jay today. Let me just check my email for J News Daily.
I know, who cares, right? It's anyway, they sent me a message wanting me to be exclusive over on Odyssey, and I don't know yet. They're gonna send me like some kind of details and stuff like that.
You know why they haven't contacted me?
No.
Can't afford me.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, at least for me. I mean, I'm probably a lot less cheaper than that. You know why they can't contact you? They can't afford me.
Can't afford you.
Why? What do you mean? I'm a simple guy, man. Like with simple things, and like I'm like, I don't need a lot to keep me happy. You know? Listen, I hit 50K. I never thought in a million years like that would even be humanly possible with the kind of stuff that I put out. I mean, I do my best.
Okay, let's play a game then, Jay. Let's play a quick game. Out of that 50K, how many do you think you got through shout outs from other people?
Wow. 10?
40,000?
Wow.
49? 49,000. 49,000.
You really think it was that much?
Probably 49.
Man, you just taking me down a notch, aren't you? You can just see the soul like dripping off my body.
And it feeds me.
My soul is feeding you.
So when people lose their soul, it feeds me.
Let's see. I had 10,000. I know I built on my own. The shout outs started around 10. They actually didn't really do much for me. Every time I was mentioned on Friday Night Tykes.
What you're saying is don't shout you out anymore. Gotcha.
You guys haven't said my name on that show in months, so it's all, and it's not that I'm expecting it. It is what it is.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Didn't there was a bit of footage that you showed right at the beginning of this stream.
That was on Chrissy Meyer's podcast, and that's because I sent a super chat.
Yeah, but
yeah, you just said don't.
Did that super chat say shout out my channel?
No, not at all.
Exactly.
But you said don't shout out that channel. That's what you're.
Yeah, but don't shout out that channel. So people are like, what channel?
I hear what you're saying.
Dear God.
Listen, I am fully aware that my channel was built on Gina Carano. Trust me. If she didn't show up on my channel, I'm fully aware I would be, you know, I know. But would you still come on though if I was still back then? You know, that's the probably, right? Maybe. No, he's just drinking and yeah, just all right, then maybe some questions don't need answers and we'll just continue. Hey, listen, I gotta say, I'm very.
When's Gina Carano on next?
When it. Do you want the date?
Yes.
I can't give it yet.
Okay.
We just spent Christmas together. I mean, it's all good. But the she'll probably be on like Friday Night Tykes more than my channel if she's gonna promote movies and stuff.
We just spent Christmas together.
So, yeah, it's not like. Yeah, here it comes, everyone. I'm just saying. And listen, you guys have the privilege of being on an amazing show. It's awesome to watch. You guys have like such a great bond with everyone over there. Like it's awesome, you know. It's awesome.
It is.
I like for me, I like doing this. I like doing the podcast stuff because I love what gets me going is hearing people's story. What keeps them motivated. What you know, how you went from one place to the next and how you keep going. It's very
you gotta be motivated. You gotta be motivated. You can't do this if you're not. People can see through you if you're not. They can see the lack of energy, they can see the lack of desire if you're not. You gotta want to do this. And I like I said, I legitimately believe in this stuff. I legitimately believe in our franchises. These aren't decorations. These are things which I have because I am blessed to be able to have them now, which I never had before. And these are, I look at these and different things mean different things to me. They tell me different stories. They give me different memories.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite toy right now?
Toy? I mean, I do have a 1-in-3 statue of Azrael Batman downstairs in my front room.
Oh.
Which
I mean, this is just okay, but this is like my favorite.
Do you know why I didn't get that? Do you know why I didn't get that? No. I didn't think it did Gina justice.
Yeah.
I think I mean it's a great statue, but I think Gina's a much more beautiful one.
I bought it because I thought they were gonna cancel it. Like they started canceling. So it was like one of those things where I was like, let me grab it before it gets, and then they didn't. You want to know the most expensive? One of the most expensive toys of my. I just got today.
Was it something Gina gave you?
No, it's this dumb thing right here.
What the fuck is that? What is that? Is that your handbag? Is that where you put your makeup?
It's a popcorn bucket that you could get at Disney. People online are spending thousands of dollars for this thing right here.
What?
Yeah. Why? That's how crazy these Disney people are. Like, this is a Figment popcorn bucket that they had limited quantities. That's like $20. And if you went on eBay when they first let them out, they were over people were buying them for over $1,000. There's a thing called Disney resellers. When like Disney or Universal or the theme parks like release a limited item, people go there and buy as many as they can and resell them on eBay for ridiculous amounts of money. Like ridiculous amounts of money. And people, they're gonna keep doing it if people buy, you know, like they just keep doing it. So this piece of plastic is worth more than that Gina Carano statue at the moment.
I'd rather have that.
Yeah, look at that.
My Huntress or my Catwoman or my Batman or my Batgirl. I'd rather have any of those.
All the stuff I got from Gina, she signed it with the wrong name. So she signed it Joey. All of my Joey stuff is back there.
She likes you that much.
Yeah.
She likes you that much. She couldn't even get your name right.
Well, it was a combination of her name, her middle name Joy and Jay. So just wanted to throw that out there.
So you stole a guy called Joey's Gina Carano merchandise and tried to palm it off his name.
I did have an offer that somebody wanted to buy that. His name was Joey. It was quite a nice offer. So
that would be quite good that his name is that.
I was like, Gina, would you sign another one for me if I sold this one for this?
Hey, Gina, if I sold your presents, would you sign some more presents for me? I bet she's well chuffed with that one.
She was just like, really? Do you mind if I read some super chats, Azza?
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly nip to the loo.
Yeah, no problem.
So I will BRB.
No problem. Real quick. Let's see. Lady Art says there's a strong possibility that I'll fall asleep, so I'll just leave this here for you gents and catch you in the morning. Happy Valentine's Day and a great weekend for 249 pounds, I think. Thank you. My man, Mr. Prime for 5. Az is so awesome, and I'm so glad I'm not the only one who thought a character in the recent garbage Doctor Who season looked like Kilimanjaro knockoff. Oh, Killmonger knockoff. Sorry. I really need to make the words bigger on this page. Mr. J for 100. My man from Denmark says, all I can do right now is smile. This is the best thing to happen in a long time. Oh, and Drunk, can you thank Az for getting me into your community? Almost 8 years with Az. Then he brought me over to Geeks and Gamers. Everybody, thank you so much. Mr. Grant Gregory for 2. 2 handsome devils on YouTube. Oh, Az is missing all the praise. I'll tell him. Robert says, you both have a blessed soul. Jay and Az, sorry I'm late to the stream. Had physical therapy today for my shoulder. Be blessed. Be blessed to you too, brother. My man, Mr. Pena says, sup, asshole. Romy sends a $20 super chat, says nothing. Hey, Jay, are you interviewing Sean Connery's hot brother Az? Awesome. For 10, happy Valentine's Day. Maybe. My man, Craig for 2, thank you. Norwegian, Kryptonian. Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes will lead this year's Oscars. Wow. Is that true? They just don't care anymore. My man, Nick, for 5. Oh, my God, 2 of my favorite people on the same place at the same time. If only Gary was here, it would be a trifecta of perfection. I'll let Gary know. A Troubled Green for 5. Hey, Az. Oh, these are all for Az. I should wait till he gets back. Let me skip some... Scott for 5 says, hello, Babyface. I can't believe I made a rare Monday live stream. Today's a great day. You know what's coming is Wham. You want me to play that so bad, don't you? Low Watermark for 50. As online forums have the concept of active members versus total members, does YouTube... These are questions for Az. I'll have to wait till he gets back. I think they're all for Az, right? Here we go. Robert for 5. Love what you do. Love what you and Az do. Much respect. Thank you. I'll just get to the ones where $5. Jay and Az, love you guys and everything that you're doing. Steering this 58-year-old from everything woke and broke. Thank you for the super chat. Bear Business for 10. Today's an example of YouTube mind reading. Az's April Fool video just appeared when I refreshed the main page, but I cannot get today's video from my subs. Hot dog. Team Worm for 5. Lord of the Rings looks like a generic CGI fantasy. And there's no star power attached to it. So if it's not production value and not talent, where did the money go? That's an excellent question. Let's see. Nerd Cookies, first time I had Jay on my channel. That was cool. When was that? That was a while ago, wasn't it? George for 5. What did you two think of Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes? I grew up with the character and I thought it was different, but similar to the character. I'll have to ask Az. Robert for 5. You two keep fighting. There's a small group of people that are trying to destroy these franchises. Epstein's Ghost for 5. Jay Snake Gina from Az. Damn it, Jay. Follow the bro code. I didn't know. I didn't know. I really didn't know. Sang 49 for 5. Loving this podcast. Love for you, As. I hate asking, but I have to. Any small tips for doing videos on the side for YouTube? Admire both of you. I think he gave a lot of tips. Just do it. Just get started. I am 4th for 25. The Little Book of Azrance needs to be on the shelves by Christmas. Dylan for 2. Objectify the like button, everyone. Beef Panda Jay. It's been a long time. You deserve a promotion. You are hereby promoted King J. Congrats. Thank you. Beef Panda, as when you come, you got to sing Coming to America on the plane ride. I'll have to let him know. Johnny 64 for 5. I need to see Az in Orlando. You're the best, bro. Looking forward to meeting Jay too. Beef Panda OJ, I've been meaning to tell you this. Buy you a 180 VR camera and do walk around the park. It's awesome. I'd watch the hell out of that. Young Ripa's shoulder hair for $1.50. That's interesting. I have a couple here. They asked you some questions.
Mm-hmm.
One, it says, as online forums have the concept of active members versus total members, does YouTube give you any idea of how many of your subscribers actually are still active and engaging? Is there any way to determine how many subs are stale?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. It'd be interesting to find out because when I sort of like left my channel, it was on 140,000 subscribers. And then it went down over that year. It went down about 10,000 to 130,000. And then when things started picking up again, it started picking up from when it was around about 130,000. And now I'm just on the verge of 300,000. So I would say I probably have somewhere in the region of like 100,000 active, maybe even like 200,000 inactive. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find. If anyone knows how to find out, it'd be interesting to find out. But whenever I have my meetings with my managers, they don't bring up those optics. I don't even know if they know those details, but it'd be interesting.
I don't know any of that. Dr. Rachel Lindbergh, really loving this conversation. As is very well spoken. Happy Valentine's Day. You two handsome men. Thank you.
I found, I went looking for something and I found it because you're talking about things which either expensive or mean something to you. Well, this here is something that I won at an auction. And this is actually the lithograph. Is that what you call it? This is actually a plastic sheet over a print screen. And this is the Japanese Dreamcast Phantasy Star Online advert. This is what they use to print the advert. So this is a one-of-a-kind thing. And Sega did a charity auction years and years ago. And I picked this up. So this is the only one in existence.
Wow.
And it was a really fun game that I enjoyed playing. So I managed to snap that up. So it could have zero value. It wouldn't matter. But to me,
your microphone's off a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go.
To me, it might have no like commercial value, but to me, it's a great piece which I love.
Marksman says, was going to buy some figures. Then I thought I should send the anime to Az. Would you like a copy, Jay? It's an 80s mecha anime. Yes. My PO box is in the description. I love that stuff. Feel free. A lot of people just saying, Az, I love what you do. Az, please keep it up. Az, stay strong. Az, we love you. Someone called you Sean Connery's hot brother.
Wow.
As very handsome, brother. You're a handsome devil.
That's what Alec Jones said, which made us all laugh.
I got one that says you're. Oh no. That's yeah. I think that's it. Today's example of YouTube mind reading, as his April Fool video just appeared. when I refreshed my main page, but I cannot get today's video from my subs. That's YouTube. Called him Hot Dog. That's how things work. That's how things work. Beef Panda says, Jay, your Voltron isn't in your background anymore. I'm disappointed. Until as we're making a Coming to America 3 starring him. We're race swap. I put my Voltron in case we got into a toys conversation. I put it next to me.
Nice.
So
that's
all. The only problem is like I don't know, like I can't take these off. Like they're like stuck. So there is
a version that you can.
No, I can, but I like it's so old. Like I'm afraid it'll break when I pop it off. So I'm like,
I got just in front of me, for instance. I got a Fan Toys cup.
Oh, look at that!
Which is just in front of me because these are my 3 favorite Transformers of all time: Cup, Blur, and Hot Rod. I love them from Transformers the movie. So there's the Fan Toys Blur chilling out with his sniper rifle.
That's awesome.
The pose on these are incredible. You can do some incredible poses. And then of course, Hot Rod. This is the Hot Rod version, not the Rodimus Prime version. This is the Hot Rod with his visor down as well.
Did you like that Transformers movie?
Oh, I loved it.
They killed off all the original characters in like the first
because they wanted to sell new toys.
Kelly Fortu says Gary fears.
I wasn't
Gary
not prepared.
Fears
I know she says that. I have no idea what she means.
Zero says, "Hail Jay and Ass. Thoughts on the upcoming Batman?"
I'm trying to be positive. I am a little nervous, but I'm gonna go in with a positive frame of mind. I think there's a story. This is a 2-hour 47 movie. There is a story that the trailers are not telling us. It's too long not to have another story going on. So whatever that is, don't know, but we're going to find out soon enough.
Last question is, if you had any advice. Oh, wait a minute. That's the one I forgot. Shamelessly begging you to read my first super chat. Yeah, you're right. This is how bad I am at YouTube. A Trouble Green says, "Hail Az, I love your insight into storytelling. You always know what works and what doesn't. What would you say is the element that makes a story engaging?"
Oof. I mean, my personal belief is people gravitate to people. So if your characters are not believable, if your characters are not relatable, then I don't think your story is ever gonna work. And so people are more interested. It doesn't matter whether it's a fantasy universe, a sci-fi universe, a grounded universe. You have to relate to the characters still. They have to have motivations, desires, beliefs that you can comprehend. You don't have to believe them yourself, but that you can comprehend and at least empathize with. And we see so much superficiality today in TV shows. These characters are completely unrelatable. And so if you can't relate to the character, how can you have any compassion or interest in that character? I think the Eternals was a prime example of that. There was nothing there for anyone to, who gave a shit about them? Just who
I didn't even
give a
want to
toss
see
about
it.
So, no, I mean, I watched it because I'd had it on good authority that it was really terrible. And so I thought, excellent, there's a payday.
I mean, for a lot of people, yeah, I just didn't. My Disney Plus subscription ended, and I was like, that's it. I didn't even renew it. Shellback for $2 says, "You both are awesome. Now can I get a hot dog?"
Hot dog.
There it is. And last, then we're going to end Kelly for 2. 3PO House of Dragon, flame or flop? I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's the upcoming Game of Thrones prequel about House Targaryen and shit.
I was thinking they were talking about Bruce Lee. So
I wish. He's a bit dead though, so
I liked Game of Thrones, just like everybody else. That last season, you were just like, wow. That's too bad. That's too bad. They keep coming. Zero says Ash should join the Geeks and Gamers Mario Kart stream. I think that's like 4 a.m. for him when we're playing.
Jeremy said he might try and get one which is a bit more time affordable for me. And I told him that I've never played Mario Kart, and he said we don't care.
Yeah, I'm terrible. Of all the games, I'm like, that's the worst game ever. But anyway, it's been 2 hours. I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on this humble, small channel and gracing us with your wisdom and love.
It is good of me, isn't it? Yeah.
It is very good of you. You should, walk your head held high. You even had a bathroom break in between. So it's pretty good. Honestly, seriously, Az, it's been great knowing you like through the years and stuff. It's pretty awesome to see where 300,000 is like right around the corner.
Yeah, just hit 296,000 last night. So just
it's almost there.
Just 4,000 away from 300K, which is I never thought I could get anywhere near that. I never thought I'd hit 100K, never mind 300K.
So that's where I'm at. I didn't think I'd do 50. But you motivated me in Vegas. Grinded it out. Now look where we are.
Just keep coasting. That was an insult, by the way, Jay.
I know. But see, sometimes in America, it's like when you're saying that, hey man, I'm coasting, like I'm doing good. So I'm doing good. So, that's why I guess it took me a minute to be like
into it. That's what it means.
It took me a minute to be like, wait, is he insulting me?
He's British. Is that an insult?
God bless you guys. This will be on Spotify in a few days, and we're gonna keep it up for people that I know across the pond wanted to listen, but they couldn't because they were sleeping. So we will catch you on the next podcast. Will probably be next Monday. So we try to do these on Mondays. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope you were inspired today. To hear more of the conversation, check out our Patreon or become a member of the channel. And don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next episode. And welcome to the Rebellion.